Hi guys, it's me Alex, your sassy dispatch girl, and today is Monday, our live talk. So we're gonna wait a few seconds and see what's going on today in trucking. While market's going down a little bit, I just shared the link with our partnership. We're gonna talk today about TMS. I see that Leo is connected. Please try to share on different pages in Facebook, on YouTube, because we're gonna be talking about TMS today. Well, let's see what's going on. Summer is right now, let's say in season, right? So we can see the changes a little bit in trucking. The reefer market's still strong. Dry van going down a little bit. Flatbed step decks are strong because why, guys? Well, construction's going on. We are building houses. We are fixing the roads. So you need to make sure as a professional dispatchers, you always remember about this stuff. So what is a TMS? Let's try to figure out why company needs TMS. So first, let's start from understanding. TMS refers to Transportation Management System. This is a platform that people use to utilize their business plan. They execute their accounting. They optimize their physical movements. It helps their dispatchers to work more efficiently. So it's kind of like everything in one house. It's like your little tiny dispatch housing where you can have everything together. The data says for 2021 that only 35% of the people are using TMS. While I think we are still all getting used to technology, and a lot of smaller carriers, they probably afraid of the cost, which is, I can tell you that it went down tremendously and anybody can afford TMS nowadays. And we're going to see the difference between having prepaid option as a TMS, monthly subscription, and all those things, because we're going to have a guest today from UTech Corp who is going to answer all the details. We're going to talk about connectivity and collaboration, how easy it is. Can you use TMS? If you get TMS, can you use it from different countries? Can you use it on your phone? Can you use it on desktop? So all those questions we're going to be asking our guest. Also, we're going to be talking about functionality. Really, how easy it is. How user-friendly is those TMS? Is it like really time-consuming? Or maybe if you organize things and you put the integration, it's going to be way easier for you to manage your company. We're going to talk about different types of the management system, right? Cloud-based and license. As I mentioned, it used to be that you had to buy out the license for TMS. Nowadays, we have a lot of options on monthly subscription base, which helps a lot because who has the money to pay up front? 10,000, 15,000, not a small carrier. We're going to also talk about implementation cost and contracts. So how long does a contract has to be signed? How many users can you use? Can you add some features, or is it going to be same for everybody else? And before I bring our guest, I want to see if we can watch their little promo video and see what is so special about this company. Last Monday, we met with the CEO of UTech and we were talking about GPS Tab, our ELD provider. So let's see. Let's see what they are promising us with their TMS.
Michael's trucking company was growing, but as it grew, so did the paperwork, compliance, and numbers to track. Excel spreadsheets weren't working anymore. He couldn't tell where his trucks were, or even how much he was making. Nothing was clear. Not safety expirations, unpaid invoices, third-party integrations. Worse yet, Michael was facing more costs from hiring dispatchers as his business grew. It all added up to time and money wasted. Revenue was up, but profits? Enter UTech Transportation Management System. It brought all his different departments into one handy software so that they could talk to each other. Now, Michael knows his profits every day. He's cut down on his need for pricey dispatchers. Safety compliance and equipment utilization are clear, and they save countless hours by integrating their factoring company, ELD, tolls, and fuel card providers. More money and time as you grow? You bet. UTech TMS makes it easier and saves you money, with more productivity and less stress. Let us show you a free demo. UTech TMS.
Well, and here's our guest. Hi, Macher. Now you're live. I would love you to introduce yourself and tell us, what are you guys offering as a TMS? Why are you so different? How long you've been with Utah Corporation? And tell us all the details, because everybody tried to compare different TMS. It's a lot of them on the market, but we want to see, why are you better than anybody else?
All right. Hello. How is everyone? My name is Mache. I am the head of our TMS product here at UTech. I've been with the company for almost 3 years now. So what makes us a little bit unique and different is we are going to provide a lot more added value without breaking the bank right out the gate, right? So as you said, there are a lot of TMS systems out there on the market, and for the most part, they're all going to try to accomplish the same thing, right? We are going to try to streamline operations, bring everything under one roof in terms of all your third-party providers, save time and money at the end of the day. But obviously, certain TMS systems may cost quite a bit out of the gate, as you were saying. So whether that may be something as low as even $10,000, $20,000, or maybe like a McLeod where you're paying, even more than the cost of a Lamborghini, right? You're getting close to $250,000, $300,000.
I love those. So let me give my money to have one next year. I order my purple color. But
it's your choice.
So let's stop you right here. So are you a licensed TMS or you are web-based TMS?
So we are a software as a service. So we are not, in essence, licensing our product that you buy it out with a large chunk of change right out the gate. We are providing user options for a monthly fee. There are some small upfront costs, but that depends on what third-party providers you want to integrate with. So that could range from your fuel card providers, your tolls, your factoring company. Are you guys using QuickBooks, which most of our customers actually are? So we're definitely geared towards those mid to even smaller carriers that are looking to grow. And we want to definitely grow with our customers. That's why we don't cost $250,000 just to buy the system outright, and you can't even get a hold of a person to do any training. We want to be there to make your lives easier, because at the end of the day, we need a mutually beneficial relationship, right? If you're happy, we're happy.
Let's talk about cost. I just sign up for your TMS, but I want you to tell the cost per user. Is it going to be different if it's a mega carrier? Is it just one truck, 3 trucks? So can you give us exact numbers, not guessing numbers, but how much would it cost? And contract, because nobody wants to be tied up in a long contracts. So let's verify that.
100%. So our retail pricing here is going to be $150 per user. Because we're not a $1 trillion company just yet, nothing's just set in stone. So if you are a mega carrier, you got 200, 300, 1,000 trucks, we can definitely work out a volume, option for you, right?
Like in any business.
Of course.
If I dispatch 1 truck, it's going to be 10%. If I dispatch 7 trucks from your company, well, I can go to 7%. Okay.
Of course. We always have some room to work with, right? The upfront costs are going to be dictated by how many integrations that you want. So depending on what other third-party providers you're working with. Let's say you got EFS for tolls. You guys are working with QuickBooks Online, and then you also are dealing with pre-pass as well. So that would be one time $300, because I mentioned 3. Each of them is going to be $100 a pop, basically. So there's no other fees other than the monthly user-based fee. You pay for it up front, and we only have a 6-month contract. We're not locking you into 3 years or anything like that. And that's only to make sure that we get all of our training done, the implementation is done, everyone's on the same page, they know how to use the system from A to B. We don't want any garbage in, garbage out situations, because at the end of the day, technology is not going to completely replace people, right? So we need to make sure.
Sometimes I would love to replace some people with technology, but I would love that personal touch, and I know that as a humans we can solve problems. So hopefully not, guys. We still want to have that one-on-one. COVID already kind of killed it, so we are coming back, and but we want, as a dispatcher, for example, for me as a dispatcher, as owner of the trucking company, I want to have extra time. So is this a product which, if I'm going to put everything on time, let's say maybe integration is going to take a while, but is it going to help me to save the time so I can go and do my gardening, I can teach live like right now, right? So tell me, would it really cut down on a time spent with all those Excel spreadsheets, maybe having safety in one place, accounting in another? What is your analytic data? Because, guys, you are software engineers. We're talking numbers here.
No, 100%. At the end of the day, time is going to be our most valuable resource, right? We can't ever get it back. It's constantly going. So if we are only adding more time wasted, there's no opportunity for us. Our company doesn't exist, right? At the end of the day, we need to save you that time. In the beginning, it may seem that it is going to be a little bit more difficult. As with any transition or learning something new, you have to put in the extra time to make sure that everything is done correctly from step A to B. But once you get to that proper workflow, you are going to be able to reap the benefits, analyze all the data, make use of all of the automation and the streamlining of bringing in all of your providers in one spot to then make those actual business decisions, focus maybe on your growth, or have more time to go out in the garden and plant something, as opposed to going through my Excel sheets, importing everything from my tolls and my factoring, generating the driver's settlement. Oh, wait, I forgot this. This is in a different spot. You will have everything all under one roof in order to make your life that much easier, save you time, which can equate to money at the end of the day.
Okay, we have a first question. What is the best option for an independent dispatch service with 10 trucks? So here's the question. He's not a carrier. Would it benefit independent dispatch service to utilize this?
We 100% will have some features and able to manage your dispatching operation. So again, dependent on how in depth they're going with other aspects of the trucking business with each of those carriers. One thing that definitely distinguishes us from other systems as well is we're able to actually manage multiple MC numbers and carriers within the same system. So you are going to be able to even dispatch your owner operators. Maybe they have their own smaller fleets. You're going to be able to keep track of all of their assets, assign them to different quote unquote invoicing companies, and then basically have everything separated so you don't make a mess from your billing and accounting perspective.
Yeah, because usually as an independent dispatch service, you have few different companies, and you still need to do their invoicing because they cannot afford the accounting. That's why they pay you. Also, they want you to know how to file IFTA. They actually want you to calculate IFTA. Secondary, they're even asking you if you can do invoicing and payroll for their employees. And that's what I call, if you want to really be that best pro dispatcher, like me, yes, Ryan, like me, like pro sassy dispatcher, you have to offer them more, because smaller carriers, they cannot afford to hire all those other people, accounting, safety person, IFTA calculation. So if you can offer them more services, and that's a great idea that you said that you can have everyone in a one system. Yes, it's going to cost you a little bit to get set up, but you can charge your carriers. You can charge because it's going to be integration. And I think that we should share this screen, because I don't think that people understand what do we mean by integration. So let's look at this. Can we go over some of these things, right? So let's see. can have integration with what? Let's say factoring. I mean, you just have example here, RTS, but you have a different factory setup. You can have your logbook, right? So your
Correct.
ELD, your HOS hours. You can have, what is a DAD? How does that work? I did not get to that part yet.
So we're actually planning in the future to be integrated directly with load boards as well. So not only, do we do TMS, we also have a few other products that are going to be, let's say, in the rice cooker, right? So they are going to be coming out shortly, and they are going to provide even more integrations and streamlining ability. So let's say DAT, Uber Freight, other load boards as well, where we are thinking of providing an instant book option. So exactly. So again, dependent on the different technologies, different providers, we have to put in a lot of legwork and information and research on the back end, right? So we are going to be able to then integrate with those in the future, as well as then having some options right now. We do offer some custom development work as well, where some of those then options can come in play a little bit more at the forefront, but that really then depends on your customer's needs. So we do have kind of a quote unquote out of the box solution that would work for you, that will integrate with your fuel cards, your tolls, your factoring companies, your different ELD providers as well. Samsara, Keep Trucking.
Yeah, so easy pass. So let's clarify this for people who just started, because most of my watchers, they are brand new to this industry. They becoming a dispatcher, they open their company. So how important it is to be able to pull the information together, right? The fuel from one side, the hours, the miles. What about all the equipment? I know that we can put like, can we keep the maintenance there? Are you going to be, maybe we'll take like 30 seconds break. Are you able to show us your screen and see like what other options, like, how we can enter driver, how, not to really show us, but like show the options. So let's take
100%.
Let's take 30 seconds so we can actually see how it really looks. Okay. And before you share, I have the comment again from Ryan. Guys, we are pro dispatchers. We don't insta book, lol. Wow, Ryan, you just took my class. I guess maybe you have to revisit our sessions. Well, as a pro dispatcher, I told you, if you want to be a pro, you cannot just keep calling. You have to book on those apps. You just need to know how to negotiate, how to play a casino. So actually, the pro dispatcher is pre-booking on different load boards, probably 75%, and only 25% I do call, because again, I am pro. I have time to build a relationship. I need to grow my company. So unfortunately, we need to understand that be able to book right there with option negotiating the load, it's very important. So another question, I don't know if, can this be used as an Airtable?
As an Airtable.
Well, I don't know.
Can you define that?
Yeah, what are we defining as an Airtable? Maybe he means like Airtable where everything landing on the same page. Yes, it kind of goes together: accounting, freight, dispatching, our drivers, our equipment, everything comes together, if that's the meaning. If not, please clarify that and we'll come back to this. But
yeah, I mean, that's going to be the whole point. We're going to be consolidating everything in one spot. I mean, we're also going to be developing here as well that you're going to be able to almost kind of pull different links from other sources. Let's say if you're already making use of other third-party tools, we will have an option to then also view that within the TMS. So whether you want to view your, let's say, ELD portal, or you want to take a specific place to the FMCSA website and you don't want to open that up in a separate browser, we're going to be adding that functionality to view it right then and there within the TMS itself.
Okay, so let's see if you can share your screen and show us how user-friendly it is and what options do we have right there. I think you are able to share.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me know when you guys can see
Yes.
it.
Oh, not yet. I think you have to choose the screen. I can see. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have to add it to the stream. You have to add it to the stream.
Can you see it now?
I see it below, but you need to add it to the stream. Oh, let me try to. Okay. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Okay.
Yeah, so here is basically our landing page, right? When you get into our TMS, you will have your software and system broken down into these tabs up at the top. You get some quick access buttons dependent on your users, and a lot of different summary widgets that you can obviously customize dependent on which user you want to see that information. Maybe an owner just wants a quick glance, but you don't need your safety to see your top 10 customers, for example. You got a quick access search bar, and you'll be able to find everything quickly here at your fingertips. Under our assets, we'll obviously have all of our assets. You can manage your system users, their different permissions and rights. So depending on who's in here and what type of user that they are, you can customize what they will be able
Will
to
they be
view,
able
add,
to
edit,
see?
and delete exactly on every single page.
So this is a
of
really
the
great.
TMS.
This is a great feature because you want to give access, for example, to your dispatchers because they will need to enter information, but maybe you don't want them to see some personal information for safety for each driver. Or maybe your accounting should be just accessing some stuff. So this is pretty useful.
Yeah, 100%. So you can customize it to be whatever needs and requirements that that person has access to. Like again, safety wouldn't have access to accounting, so they wouldn't even know that that's in the system at all. It would
So
just
let's
be
click on the
gone.
operation. So what is under the operation?
Yeah,
So
operations, you'll have all of your orders as well as order planning, which will be the screen that in essence your dispatchers would be living in. You'll have your orders broken down in their corresponding statuses up at the top, from available, in progress, delivered, invoiced, all the way to completed. So as you can see, there's so much information in here that you can sort, filter by. Maybe you don't even care about half of this information. One thing that definitely distinguishes us is the ease of agility to adjust the custom view of what you want to see. So let's say I take out these little check boxes. I can rearrange then the fields that I want to see. When I click done, it will completely then reorganize my table here to only see the information that I want. Down at the bottom, you'll have all of your connected assets, your drivers, your trucks, your trailers, with a Monday to Monday schedule of where they are planning to be, along with options in order to communicate from the system directly to them. So we have already the option of dispatching through Telegram, if you guys are familiar with that, with SMS messages. So you'll be able to get a history of what was sent to the driver, send all of the order information, chat. So if you do get a message, this little cell will turn green, you'll get a little sound notification. And we are going to be releasing a driver app here as well that will allow for communication as well as self check-in and check-out. So you won't even have to manually dispatch through the system here in terms of moving it to in progress, delivered. The driver will simply check in to all of their stops and they will be moving themselves throughout the system. If we have an ELD integrated, as you can see, I have my hours of service information. So I don't even have to.
This is a question my dispatchers were asking, because when you're a new dispatcher, it's hard to understand. So let's say I booked the load today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if is it going to be able, since I am integrated with my ELD, is it going to show me that it is possible or not?
So that's something that we're going to be developing here in the future and making use of those ETA times based off of then the scheduled time for arrival. If you have a pickup window, if you got an appointment slot, based off of how many hours you have left in the day. So that is coming out 100%.
How fast it's coming out? Because that's something which is going to be crucial for the new dispatchers.
100%. It's definitely going to help out. So we will be able to distinguish those drivers if they are going to be able to make that or not. Are they going to be late? Does it even make sense to assign them to that load? Should we even book it or not? 100%.
So what do you say? 2 months, 3 months, by the end of the year? When is it going to be?
So most likely before the end of the year. So right now we are definitely focused on our driver app. So that will be another app that the drivers will have access to in order to see all of their loads, communicate. In our following versions, they also have options to view their settlements from within there as well. So that will be out before the end of the summer. We are going to be adjusting and beefing up our notification capabilities, as well as then even more so simplifying our dispatch process, especially when it comes to LTL and consolidation work, which we are seeing more and more of our customers get into. So not just doing the simple one pick, one drop, full truckload operations. We are getting more and more of our customers that are actually diversifying their workload in order to consolidate more loads, take on more LTLs, and bring in more money to the company at the end of the day.
So is that going to be additional cost for that driver app, or it's going to be, how is that?
Nope. So everything's included. So to give you guys even a little bit more background, we have an update roughly every 2 weeks. So this allows us to be very agile, to be very big on taking feedback from our customers. As I said, we want to grow together. As long as we can validate the points and requests, we don't charge extra for it. If you do need something that is a little bit further out there, or it's something that you can't live without, we also do have the option, as I mentioned, to do some custom work. So maybe we are able to expedite certain things, which could cost an extra amount of money. But at the end of the day, if it's something that we agree with, it's mutually going to be beneficial for everyone. We're not going to charge our customers extra for it. So there aren't, again, any hidden costs unless you want to push or escalate an issue, right? So we are going to be constantly improving. This is going to be a never-ending process. Technology is always going to be getting better. The markets are going to be changing. Different integrations and third-party providers are going to be popping up. So at the end of the day, we want to make your guys' life that much easier and work with all of the people that you guys work with. At the end of the day, some other customers or companies that provide a TMS service may not be as willing to do something like that. Whereas we can, attempt to bark up the right trees, get to the right people, and, get things done at the end of the day to mutually benefit us. So, the more people that we work with, in the market, the better for everyone.
Let's see your accounting, because a lot of people are scared. Oh my God, now I have to do my accounting. Who is going to do my invoices? And we're talking about smaller carriers, 10 to 15 trucks, because when you are over 20, 25, you already have somebody in the house to do your safety. So let's go over accounting now. So you can do invoicing and you can do integration with the factoring, right?
Correct. Yeah. So it's as simple as coming into your invoicing page. You are then selecting, once your orders are delivered, whether they are going to be submitted to the factoring company, or maybe you have some customers that you are still billing directly. So you simply select which ones. You'll be able to simply mark the ones that you want to submit. You can double check your information here. Again, this menu is going to be completely customizable. So you definitely want to see which files you have attached. I have a rate con BOL invoice.
Okay.
Let's say over here, I forgot my rate con. I definitely need that. I can come in here, open the order directly, literally add my rate confirmation here, just select my type, and I don't have to go into another screen of the TMS. I can do it directly through here. I have some shortcuts if I right click, if I wanted to check all of them. I got my total here, and all I have to do is click submit. I'll get a progress bar, and if it's a live account, it'll be sent off to the factoring company, and you guys can get paid out. Easy as 1, 2, 3.
What about payroll? Let's say I am independent dispatcher and I'm managing 3, 4 different small carriers. One has 1 driver, one has 3 drivers, one has 4. Can I generate the reports and see this guy had 5 loads this week? This is his income. This guy had 3 loads. Is that possible?
100%. So we have everything here under our generate settlement screen. So dependent on which date you want to cut off the orders for, and then which date you wanted the settlement generated for. So let's say I wanted to generate a settlement for this Friday, but I'm actually doing it on Monday. As you can see, I can have multiple settlement companies. So if I am issuing settlements from one company or booking loads under multiple companies and then generating that statement from another one, I have that full capacity right here. And I'm simply just selecting whether it's the one driver that I'm looking for, all for the period, or by my driver types, whether they're company drivers, owner op, or lease purchase. So if I select all for the period, that will then basically pull up any information that I would have within the drivers. So I would see their movements here in terms of orders loaded, and then we have any charges, recurring charges, fuel card transactions, express codes, and tolls as well. And I'm simply just selecting which ones I'd like. My total is then being adjusted. All I have to do is process it once I have saved my work, and that will then generate a settlement for me, which I'll show you an example of. and I'll have a complete history of everything that each driver had done. So whether he is going to be an owner op and he has his own company, and I
And
need
is that connected to, like, you can put ACH right away? So your bank account is connected to the ACH, or no? Can you do
so in
that?
essence, that would be a part from QuickBooks. So
QuickBooks,
because we are
okay.
heavily integrated with QuickBooks, once you have your whole settlement set up, again, we can add a company logo. You can make changes after the fact. But let's say I wanted to send this to QuickBooks. All I have to do is go into my QuickBooks screen here, and I dictate when I want to send information to and from the TMS to my QuickBooks, whether that's the online version or desktop as well. So let's say I wanted to send some settlements over. I'm just selecting which ones are new. Let's say I don't want to do all of them. I only want to send these 3 over into my QuickBooks. I select those. They get transferred over to QuickBooks after I click go. And then basically I can dictate whether that's already established as a check within QuickBooks, or maybe it's a bill for then my drivers that have their own companies and they need to be set up as a vendor. So then I can issue my W-9s from QuickBooks, as well as do even more additional reporting through there as well. Once I have my invoices transferred over, let's say they're already paid out and that payment's been applied to QuickBooks, I can also re-import them back into the TMS, and that will then automatically move them from the invoice status to the completed status, meaning I'm all paid out, done, not waiting on any paperwork. We are good to go.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let's say I already used some other TMS, or maybe I did not use any TMS, but I am not a really small carrier. I have 20, 30 trucks, and I would like to start using. How easy it is to bring all the data? How easy it is to kind of at least go to back to the beginning of this year, hopefully another the previous year. How easy it is to dump that previous data, maybe at least as a general numbers, because of course you're not going to go back and put 3,000 loads in a system,
Of
because
course.
it's going to be time consuming. But at least here was our gross, this how much we pay factoring, this how much we paid subcontractors, that's how much was, so at least that data stays for the last few years, at least the general numbers.
So what we can do very easily and quickly is going to be our assets. So our drivers and trucks, for example, we can pull from your ELD provider, or we can also do a data dump for you. So in essence, what we would do, let's say we go to our drivers list, right? We can then give you this template. If you already have them stored in an Excel sheet, it's as simple as reformatting it, and we can dump it in there for you. Same thing with orders. One thing that we are, let's say, going to have maybe a bit of difficulty with, as will any other TMS provider on the market, is importing orders with any dispatch data. So we can easily import things into the available status. They would have to be also dispatched, or we can move them already to the completed status for you, so you only get historical information, but then we don't want to go back and dispatch anything just in case. So if you know that you're not going to be adjusting those and you just want historical numbers, that's something that we can do as well. So any list section here within the TMS, let's say your locations, your customers, carriers, let's say, for example, you already have a lot of information within your QuickBooks too. I can simply input my vendors, my customers, and my accounts already from my QuickBooks, as long as that's clean information. We just want to make sure that we're not putting any garbage in the beginning, and we're only going to be putting information that we actually want to see, that we're going to need to use. It's not going to be any old stuff or any dummy accounts that we may have possibly had in the past. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we are going to be starting from a very clean and kind of strict point. But in terms of importing that data, it really depends on how you have it stored right now. So let's say, for example, you have everything very clean in your Keep Trucking ELD. So that's something that we literally can get the API key and pull your driver and truck information directly into the TMS, and then you can fill out just whatever is missing, maybe in terms of specific expirations, if that's not something that you are keeping within that ELD portal. Same thing goes with customers, your brokers. If you have all these lists, we can just basically format them the way that they need to go and do a data dump on the back end.
Okay, let's have 30 seconds break, and we're going to talk about safety How can I store safety? Because safety is the number one, safety compliance, driver hiring, termination, all the personal data, if we can keep it or not. Is it really easy to use? We're going to back to that so you can prepare after this. And before we go, we have again question. Can you repeat what is the cost, please, per user?
So yeah, $150 a month per user, and then $100 per integration upfront. Again, nothing set in stone. So again, depending on your situation, we will have some room to negotiate, especially if you are a little bit of a larger size and you're looking for some more volume.
Okay. And we said that you have to have 6 months contract just because this is kind of
correct.
You're not really making money. So
a lot of work has to go in with our back end, just in terms of setting everything up, going through the training. We're not, basically here, sign the contract and, you're going to go in the deep end and have to figure everything out yourself. We're here to make sure that you are on the same page. You understand how to use everything from A to Z. And, in essence, we've done some hand holding before as well. So, multiple sessions, whether it's with your dispatchers or safety or accounting, or, we have some companies as well that they have a few dedicated people within their organization that know everything within the TMS themselves. So a lot of training hours go into that.
Is that training going to be in person, over Zoom or something? Or is it just you have a bunch of videos and people have to watch and follow up? So how's it done?
So combination of both. So we schedule dedicated training sessions. So again, if you're local in the Chicagoland area, we can definitely even come to the office if you'd like to come to ours, or we can obviously schedule a Zoom call, whether that's through Google Hangouts, Zoom itself, TeamViewer, whatever it may be, to answer all your questions, make sure that we take you through the correct workflow and all of the processes. And you also have access to a video library, which is getting bigger and bigger by the day as well, as we are adding more and more features and integrations into the system. So you have access to support during regular hours as well. And, the plan in the future as well to have a 24-hour even TMS support, something similar to the logbooks as well.
Stuff, yeah.
Correct. Yep. So yeah, as we get more and more people in a larger need, especially with our customers that are going to be overseas. We have a lot of companies already that are outsourcing and doing their dispatch from obviously outside of the US. So obviously different time zones, and they're going to have questions and different things that will have a need to be answered, at the middle of the night over here, right? So we also have just added a chat functionality on our website too. So whether that's from a sales or a support perspective, you will have then also an account manager. You'll have a direct contact to an actual human being from a support perspective. So whether that's picking up the phone, shooting an email, or if you wanted to look through our video library, you don't want to talk to someone, it's, at the end of the day, going to be able to do it how you would like.
Okay. Before we go to the safety, one more question as the owner of the company. When I have drivers and I am paying them per mile, it's usually a big fight. How you calculate my miles. So since I'm going to be integrated with GPS step, for example, because I'm your also user for the EOD, is there an option that if I choose that this guy gets paid by mile, can it be done in accounting or no?
So in terms of setting a pay method, we do that under the driver's profile, as you can see here. So if someone is getting paid by just total miles, or you want to differentiate even between loaded and empty miles, we can set that here. So this will be the default when the driver is then dispatched, and those miles are calculated as he moves, obviously from pickup to delivery.
Great.
That will then automatically calculate those. And then you will also have under the generate settlement screen an option to change it last minute. So let's say for this move, you guys had some specific situation and you only wanted to pay him a flat rate of $100 for that one. You will always have the ability to make changes last minute after the system calculates what is based off of their default pay method.
That's pretty good. And is an owner, if you charge them 12%, 15%, all the insurance costs, so that can be kind of breakdown that, right? Like monthly,
100%. So
like
exactly. So
monthly
you
stuff like we charge. For example, cargo insurance,
Mhm.
liability. Maybe they rent in the trailer from me, so I don't have to
Definitely.
go over and over again. So if I set up and until I change something, it's gonna be there, right?
Yeah, so you set their percentage based off of the gross for the loads, but then let's say you wanted to set up any one-time charges or even reoccurring charges for this
Mhm.
driver. So basically, you're selecting whether that's a deduction, reimbursement, earnings, which expense account in QuickBooks is tied to, how much it's going to be for, a start date, which we can even go backwards in time if needed, an end date, or let's say I want to do this monthly. This is going to be on that first Monday. What this description will say will be basically what the driver sees on their settlement. And as time goes by, these will be automatically calculated and then available for you to be taken out from their settlement. So you don't have to do it every single week, every single month, every single day. It'll be automatically generating them for you as time passes.
Sounds great. So let's go to the biggest issue in trucking: safety. Files, DQ files, driver qualification files, policies, their personal information, copy of CDL, medical
Mhm.
card, maybe all those policies. Nobody wants to print them anymore. Is there option to save all this? Is there maybe collaboration with a DocuSign yet, or maybe not, or other options? Because I don't like to print stuff anymore. I would love to send my contract right to the owner so he can
Mhm.
sign. So tell us about this part.
Well, yeah. So in terms of the automation, that's definitely something that's going to be coming out in the future. We're already discussing this with our backend tech team in terms of generating generic documents that your company may use and is constantly sending out. That you'd be able to do that directly from the TMS. Right now, you will be able to save any files associated to that specific driver under their profile. And every different driver is going to have their own separate files tab that you can save their W-9s, drug test results, whatever agreements that you have with them. You can either drag or drop or upload from then your computer, select a specific expiration date as well. So if it's something that does need to be tended to and updated,
Like, for example,
whether that
medical card, CDL
exactly,
expiration,
you can
even
create.
for the truck, right? Truck and trailer annual inspection, because
Mhm.
you want to get. So would you get a reminder then?
Yeah, so in essence, right now you are going to be seeing what is triggering those notifications. So let's say
Okay.
this license has expired. If there was anything for medical card, clearinghouse, last drug test date, these are all tied to those different notifications. So currently, if I go back to my driver's list, you're going to see that some of them are color coded. And this is also going to be customizable for you. Let's say you don't like the color red, you can change it here. But I don't even have to go into the profile in order to then see what is actually triggered for this driver. I can just hover over him. What I mentioned previously is something that we're going to be implementing here, which is going to be done in the next few months, is set notifications to specific users. So let's say your safety needs to get these notifications. Let's say someone from a shop needs to get some maintenance notifications, or you need someone to get every single notification. We're going to be able to send those emails. And then we're also discussing an option of doing even text messages to notify those specific responsible parties that not only here is it within the actual list itself, you are also going to get a separate email notification. So just in case, you're not near a computer or you don't want to check anything here, you're actually going to be able to then see it within your email. And then going within our preferences to give you a little background on the color coding, and dependent on what asset it's going to be tied to, we have a highlighting section here that you can customize which colors and which triggers are going to be here based off of the assets that it's tied to. So, for example, the truck, as you mentioned, I can set different expirations for my warnings and failures based off of my annual inspection, a PMI, a planned maintenance like an oil change, or a quarterly inspection as well. And then dependent on the asset, here I have my driver, any other carriers. Here's a trailer, for example. If I don't want to have really old trailers in the fleet, I can adjust it. Let's say I don't care about this and I don't want a notification at all about it. I can just uncheck it and I don't even have to worry about it. So again, going back to our agility and having the system set up to work and look the way that you want it to.
Well, here's a question from one of my students right now. How can this software help me, I guess, I am learning dispatching trucks. Probably, how can this software help you to learn how to dispatch trucks, maybe? Well, this is not software which is going to help you learn how to dispatch trucks. But the moment you're going to start dispatching trucks, you will need to have the software which keeps all the information, your rate confirmation, your bill of ladings, your data. So this is going to help you to become that dispatch team which is on top of everything, because to be a good dispatcher, Ephraim, you need to make sure you know what's going on with the safety of drivers, with accounting, with the payments, with everything else. But maybe I don't know something. Tell me, Marcia, does this software, if I buy today, can I become a pro dispatcher like me for $150 a month automatically? Maybe you have that magic button there.
There's no smoke and mirrors, but 100% you'll be able to manage your workflow better. You'll have everything in one spot. You'll be able to sort and filter whichever way that you want, as long as that information is obviously in the system, right? So we have our shippers and consignees, our pickups and deliveries. As soon as you enter anything into the system, it will be saved there basically forever. We don't want to delete or void anything. That way you get all of that historical data and you have it basically at your fingertips, right? So however much information you want to keep track of, right? You see all of this information here that could be related to the order. Let's say you don't care about it. You can actually hide certain fields. As you can see in the background, it's taking them out. But let's say these are going to be crucial to my company, and I want to make sure that I have them every single time. So I can even make them required just in order to even save the order, right? So I need my BOL numbers, right? So if I don't have it, I won't be able to actually save the order. So again, it'll 100% help you to manage your workflow. You keep track of all your files for the orders, all that information here. You're able to send all of this information based off of predefined message templates that we can custom set up for your company that pulls directly from there, and you can dispatch then directly from the system. Whether, again, that's through the SMS, as you can see, whether that's going to be through Telegram or then our driver app when it is released. And then you customize what information that you send to them. And for example, you need any last minute notes, you can put them in the external notes, or you can also change it last minute here and then delete, add whatever wording that you'd like. So you always have the option of overriding something last minute if needed.
Okay. We also have a question. How are you pulling data for tracking your loads?
Yeah, so in essence, tracking the loads, we just actually had integration go live with 4Kites. So if that's something that you would like to make use of, we are able to do that based off of the locations then of the drivers. But through the actual load, so to say, you will have an integrated driver's information in terms of hours of service as well as location pull from then their ELD device. So if you need to see a map of all of the current trucks, you'll be able to do that. Again, this is a test account, so we only got one that's shown as an example, but then you will see all of them with their live locations as well as then their planned locations here down at the bottom.
So if I have 15 guys who are already in a system, if I click on that, I can see all of them, right?
Correct. Yep. As long as they're also part of that integrated ELD portal.
So this is really good because you don't have to log into ELD. You can just click here. You can see if everybody's moving, is everybody's on track, and all that good things, which is going to make you a pro dispatcher, because it's not about just getting the money. The best paying load, it doesn't mean that it is profitable load. That we already discussed this in the class. The pro dispatcher is the person who understands the bottom dollar, who makes carriers to work more efficient, who knows that they can save their time, money, but also can update their brokers, customers. Also, it's going to help tremendously. Let's have 30 seconds, and then we're going to answer a few more questions about your software. And also, I want to hear the answer to this. Are you integrated with FMCSA? But we get back to this in 30 seconds. Well, So the question is, are you integrated with FMCSA?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So how does that work? Because this is something which very helpful for people who are in charge of safety.
Correct. So yeah, let's say you get pulled over, you get a DOT inspection. That's something that pulls in your FMCSA portal. We have an option where we can then use your credentials to integrate directly into the system and pull that information from the inspection directly into the TMS, which would show up here under driver inspections. So that whole report would be saved here as a file. It'd be parsed out with all of the information that is literally on the report. So you will see the report number, when the inspection happened, the level of the inspection as well. You can then also keep track of then your court information if you guys are going to contest this. If you did contest it, what were the results? Which driver it was tied to? You can keep track of your data queue process as well, whether that's open or no action taken. You can see which users in the TMS received it, when it was posted, who verified it, if there's a reply, and maybe it was tied to a specific accident. So one thing that you also see is that cross-referenceability within our TMS. So let's say we tie an accident to a claim that could have also been tied maybe to a driver inspection, right? When we have all of then those violations listed out, we can obviously manually input anything, but if we do have that integration, we will then see that actual federal code here broken down automatically into the system. So I don't have to do all this manual typing, just moving things from one area to another. All of this information will be broken out, and then you can decide, after you've saved that time without that manual entry, to see what you want to do. Do you want to contest it? Is this something that the driver was responsible for? Maybe it's an additional thing that I have to set up, for example, a claim, and then I have to tie a charge to it because it was the driver's fault. So you can manage all of that here under our safety section, whether that's going to be tickets, that could be anything related to speeding or scale tickets, any accidents that could also be associated to specific claims. So for example, if we go into a claim here, you'll be able to see the status of it, whether it's open, closed, or pending. Were there any losses?
Hold on a second. I mean, because people still new to this business. So is that connected to the data queue account? So if I have data queue account, right? Probably I need to get first as a carrier data queue account. I can do all this in your software, upload all the documents, and then from here I can connect to my data queue.
So not with the data queue. We are going to be pulling currently just from the FMCSA, but not sending it to them. So your data queue you can still keep track of and manage, but if you do need to send anything out still, you will still have to be doing that. That's not to say that in the future, that is not out of the question, right? So if we do go back into these driver inspections here, if I do have my verification, I still have to fill this out as of today's date.
Okay. We have another question not related to safety, but can you also track commodity driver is hauling? If yes, how? Well, probably if you book the load, probably you can have an option there to put what is a commodity. Do you have
100%. We have a field here that will say commodity if you want it to be required, yes or no. What we're also going to be doing in one of our very near future updates is uploading an industry standard list, and we'll have the ability of also, which we currently do, entering whatever commodity you would like. So if you're using specific internal codes, maybe for your company, you are able to then input that right here.
Okay, sounds good. What else we did not touch up before we're gonna answer the question, because hour goes so fast? We have like 7 minutes left. What else do you think we did not mention? I mean, you know your software better than me. I am just sign up. I am not the user yet.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could spend 8 hours in here and not go over everything, but in terms of additional integrations, for example, we can pull also customer data as well as credit ratings, especially if you're integrated, let's say, for example, with RTS and you get RTS Pro, you'll be able also to input information by MC number, for example. So if you are typing in an MC number, that will pull then all this information. And if credit is established with them, it'll also pull that credit rating for you. So we're also going to be implementing where that is going to be doing an update periodically for you. So let's say, for example, the credit rating has suddenly changed for a customer. You will also know that, oh, this guy's not in good standing anymore. Maybe we should not book a load with him.
Okay.
You can manage your credit limits for your customers too. Let's say I don't ever want to have more than $5,000 unstanding with this customer. I can manage that here. So then it won't let me book anything if I am then breaking that limit that I have set for myself.
Okay, let's talk about iPass, pre-pass, all that data.
Yep.
That's going to be integrated, right?
Exactly. So if you have your fuel card providers, your tolls, your transactions will in essence automatically be appearing here within the TMS. So you don't even have to do, let's say, a manual import as long as we have that integration set up, right? So basically, we will have your credentials on the back end, and then you're going to be seeing as those transactions come in and are posted, they will then be visible within the TMS itself. So with your fuel cards, your tolls, you can also generate express codes, your money codes directly from within the system if you're using EFS. So we have a very kind of specific SOAP integration with EFS that you can actually generate those express codes. Let's say I go into an order that is in a specific status for a driver, and I wanted to actually generate an express code from within the system. So that one has a different one. But I can basically fill out my amount, and if I have the integration live, I literally have to click OK. I'll get my reference code, my ID number, and I can give that to the driver. I don't have to go into my separate portal and then generate it from there and then wait for it to basically transfer over.
That's great. Especially, you know what? When I go on vacations, I don't want to remember all those logins because you need a login for EFS, you need login for RTS, you need login for this, you need to log in for other places. So seems like in here it's gonna be just one software and probably 90% of everything can be done. But let's answer these questions. I know we are keeping you kind of on your toes today, but let's see.
Very good.
So we already told them frequently asked questions. That's what you have on your website, right? Are your TMS a web-based product? So again, can I use it from my phone?
So as of today's date, not yet. The data is stored the very same way. It's just the way that you access it. So currently, you still have to download an app from our website, utectms.com. But what not a lot of people know is that we're already in the process of developing a completely web-based app. So in essence, you are going to be able to, here in the near future, basically open up a browser on your cell phone. So if you want to go to the store, pick up some eggs, some beer, whatever it is, you will be able to then check specific information. Let's say I need to check some expiration. I wanted to check this order BOL number. Obviously, the functionality is not going to be 100% because you're not going to be able to, let's say, completely maybe dispatch from A to B with all of the information from a super tiny screen, but you will have then access to it in terms of very general, maybe like reporting things. Let's say you're the company owner, right? And you just want to check how much revenue came in for a specific time period. Maybe you want to see a specific widget. All of that is going to be released here in the near future. So today's date, you still have to download an application. We do work currently on any Microsoft Surfaces as well. So if you do have a tablet that's running Windows, we are already able to do that. So that's another option that we will have. You know, we also have kind of like a back-end shop module. So if that's something that you guys are doing within your own company, we can definitely talk about that as well. So if you are managing your own assets, or maybe you're even doing some outside work, that is something that we're also working on in the background here too. So as I said, a lot of stuff coming out, never-ending development, improvement, and we are extremely big on customer feedback. So if you guys have a suggestion, whether it may be some kind of crazy idea or something, we obviously have to go through the validation process, but we'll actually listen to you guys and do our own research as well.
Well, I think you're going to have a lot of demands from me the moment I'm going to start using, you know? I want to make sure that it gives us everything on all the levels: dispatching, safety, hiring, terminations, profitability, maintenance, right? All those files for maintenance, because we need to make sure we gather lots of receipts. For IFTA, for example, we need to keep all the providing receipts for 4 years. For IRP accounts, 6 years. You know, you have to keep your driver DQ files for 3 years after the termination. This is a lot of paperwork, and I am tired of having it. You know, I have special room in my basement at home, and I want to get rid of it. You know, I don't want to keep the filing up. But let's see, how often is data backed up?
So in essence, whenever you save it, we're basically saving, if you don't make a click, in essence, roughly every 5 seconds. But as soon as you make a click as well, all of this information is going to be stored. So obviously we have our own backups as well. It's not just all in one place. So in case, there's some kind of crazy natural disaster, maybe in one part of the world, we have everything saved and, ready to go for you as well.
And here's a good question from Adrian. Is the data removed after a certain time period, like after 5 or 7 years?
Nope. So we, as of right now, are going to be keeping everything within the system for you since the day that you start using it.
So if I'm going to grow today, I have 25 trucks. In the future, maybe I'm going to have 25 trucks, but maybe I grow to 100 trucks. And I do want to have backup at least for 6 years, because IRP, I need to have it for 6 years. So I hope you guys are going to have enough space, right, on your iPhone.
I mean, yes,
somewhere.
we are 100%. If we don't, then, we're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot. So we have to. There's no other way.
And another big thing, can I export data? Because, like, for example, we run in the
100%.
reports for driver payrolls, for our meetings, for example, because if you are really mega carrier, you need to have your safety, you need the data. So you can see your preventive maintenance, you can see your hiring, your termination, because nowadays in this world, you cannot be successful businessman if you do not know what has to be improved. So is that available in Excel, PDFs? What formats are you able to export the data?
So we have a variety of different formats. I'm going to show you 2 ways that we can export it. So here I just ran a truck report that will give me 2 different options here of a full and a short. So I'll have all my moves broken down by my drivers. And here I have my trucks broken down based off of their gross, their miles driven,
Okay,
their
hold
fuel cost.
on. I have to add you first to the stream. You have to kind of go back because we did not see your screen. So,
okay. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So here I generated a trucks report, right? And I have then whichever trucks I selected for the time period. If I have a full report, I'll get it broken down into literally basically every order, who is responsible. And then I have my short report that summarizes it by my trucks, how much gross each one brought in for the period, miles driven, the cost for the fuel, driver paychecks, any extra charges, maintenance if there was included. Let's say this truck, cost me $2,000 a week and I should have just kept him in the yard. I will be able to see how much profit I come out at the end of the day for that time period here, and then export that data here to a PDF or Excel.
Hold on. So this is a big question. Bottom dollar for each combination: driver, truck, trailer, how many loads, fuel cost, tolls. Can you see there what is your bottom dollar cost?
Yeah, so it just really depends on what your metrics are going to be, what you are basing that info on. So how you slice and dice the data. And we have a variety of different default reports that we can do.
Let's say this way. So I know that you're going to have my GPS, my ELD. You're going to have all the volume. You know how much fuel this guy used. You know how much his insurance cost, for example, because you can put the breakdown for each truck, for each trailer. You know how much we paying this driver. So can we go to that? Okay, let's say I'm also paying dispatcher for dispatching this guy. I also have accountant. Can that be breakdown for each truck, not as general as a company? Can I do that? Because that's something which I would like to be interested, because I dispatch different carriers, and the biggest problem with trucking that we need to educate new owners of the companies. They need to know their cost. It's not about just even dispatching. They need to know the bottom dollar. In my class, my dispatchers, they're trying to figure out. So we're working on it. And to become profitable and be good, you just need to know, because it's going to even help you to choose the load. For example, if you're told to go to East Coast, it's going to be $380. Let's say load costs $3,000. But you have load which goes to Texas and it's $2,600. In the end of the day, you're going to make more profit with load going to Texas than going to East Coast.
Definitely. So 100% agree with you. Currently, what we show within the TMS is going to be focused on the operational aspects of the trucking business. So let's say if you did need your facilities expenses or your actual payroll for maybe office employees, that's something that currently would be done within a P&L within QuickBooks itself, the way that we have it set up. So we are going towards that more of enterprise accounting setup in the future. But as of right now, because 99% of our customers are using QuickBooks, we are building that first out to make sure that we get it to where it needs to be. And then in essence, we would be replicating a whole accounting software within the TMS itself. So then there would be no need for QuickBooks. You'd have your accounts payable, accounts
Yes,
receivable,
just because
everything
trucking industry, it's a different accounting, right?
100%.
We have so many details,
Yeah.
bumpers, tone, revise rate. We have to be connected to miles, pre-pass. So yes, I love QuickBooks, but remember, it's not that easy. You cannot actually put everything what we have in trucking. Even like, even paying the dispatchers, having that competitive pay. Why this dispatcher is dispatching for this rates and his profit is because big mega carriers, they can have 10 dispatchers, right? And few guys are really gonna make profit, and the other 7 guys are just gonna get rid of trucks, moving them from A, B to C. So if you are owner of the company, you really need the data by the driver, by dispatcher, by the routes, because it can even help you to decide, should you stay on Midwest and be a Midwest carrier, or should you just concentrate on the short haul? It depends also on the trailer types, on kind of drivers you have, right? So it's so many things. Is do you guys have partnership? Okay, so do you have partnership, cooperation per? So in case I provide advertisement for you software, I get some cash back. Well, not really. You don't have. We have Dispatch Training Center as a partner, right? Well, you can contact Macha and you guys can work on it. But let's repeat one more time. What is integration product the most important? I mean, we repeated this so many times, but people joining late. Like for me as a carrier, iPass, pre-pass, fuel, factoring. This is the biggest integration. QuickBook, yes, it's great. I mean, as I said, I'm not a big fan of QuickBooks, but yes, I do need to integrate it somehow. And also, well, what else? The one you're working on, seeing the HOS, ELD, load if it's possible. I think this is the biggest help for the new dispatchers. What else I'm missing? What else do you think? Oh, Telegram, right? You said that you can dispatch them through Telegram, and also you are going to be finishing the driver app.
Correct.
So that means that we don't have to go and text from my personal phone 10 different drivers and receiving all those text messages, right? Because you want to also keep kind of your privacy. So that's 100%.
Yeah, so we work with Twilio for the text messaging, Telegram here, as I mentioned, 4Kites we just released, Carrier 411. If you have maybe like a small brokerage on the side, we can also pull that information in terms of the carriers. Maps, we do Google as a standard, but let's say you want those practical truck routes as a default. We're also a reseller for PC Miler. So we are able to provide an API key specifically just for your company. And then that way you can close borders as a default, maybe avoid tolls. You want to take a specific routing type, and more features in regards to PC Miler will be released in the future as well. We can email directly from the system.
And I can tell you this, that PC Miler, that your integration, because that's what I asked you to add for my account, it's like $5. If you have PC Miler online, it's already $30 just by itself.
So yeah, because we are a reseller, and we do work with some smaller carriers, we can extend, in essence, that no minimum to some of the people. Whereas if you approach PC Miler directly, it was like, oh, you got to buy it out for 25 trucks or 50 trucks, maybe, depending on the situation. Whereas here, we offer it at $5.50 per truck, basically, as an extra cost, if that's something that you would like. So especially if you are a smaller carrier, it's definitely a good value for you to have, and you can definitely save some money just to have access to it. So as opposed to having, the Google route calculated the default, the quickest one, you can have the practical truck miles already, so you will have even less adjustments to make after the fact.
Okay. And of course, IFTA reporting every quarter. We have to worry about IFTA. And for people who are new to trucking, well, IFTA reporting is done on base of all the miles in all states per truck and all the gallons. As a company, you have to calculate for each truck, and then you have to file separately. So let me ask you this. Filing together, it's easy, right? You can connect all the data, but what if I have owner operator and I have company drivers and owners? Is your system is able to calculate for each truck?
100%. So we already have that set as a default. Let's say I had just the one owner operator that I wanted to calculate from. I select him, click OK, select my time period. Again, if there is any data, it will then show it here for you. So I have my miles driven broken down by each of the states, how much taxable gallons I have based off of that. And then tax paid gallons is where I actually fueled up. So any fuel card transactions that would be imported and assigned, you would see those here. You'd get your net, your tax rates. We would be pulling from that matrix that obviously is changing every quarter. If there's any surcharges, they'd be taken into account. And here you have your basic tax due at the end of the day. As you can see, I did that in a few clicks, and then I can export this to a PDF or an Excel, and I have it for that specific truck done. Let's say I just wanted to search for a few specific states because they had then that additional requirement. I'm able to do that. And one thing to bear in mind,
Oregon, New Mexico, Kentucky, New York,
Exactly. So one other thing to bear in mind in regards to IFTA is we can take those miles based off of then the map routes that we have within the TMS, or let's say you didn't even want to spend those extra 2 seconds to make sure that those were right. We can actually import them directly from your ELD provider. So if you have a CSV, then we can take from them. So let's say, for example, our own GPS tab, Keep Truck, and Samsara, we can actually import those instead, as opposed to taking the movements in the TMS. And that will also do the calculation based off of that. So we have some customers that are using our TMS just going zip code to zip code. So their movements aren't exact to the nearest 0.1 of the mile, but then they're importing those miles here for IFTA from their ELD and doing the calculation that way.
Okay, let me ask you this. So if I have one user, I am one user, but I have 15 trucks, is that IFTA calculation is going to cost me extra money?
Nope, it's all included.
So here you go. I am saving already on PC Miler, $30. I'm saving. And I used to use it's truck in dispatch, which is still $5 per truck, and you have to have minimum of 5 trucks. So here I am eliminating the cost there. So in the end of the day, actually, you are saving money, right? And I see Hamid is one of my previous students. He was asking about all the information. And if they contact you, first of all, we have a link which we're going to share with all of you because we have partnership. Are they able to get one-on-one kind of review of all this product and decide if that's something for them?
100%. We offer, no cost demo presentation. We can answer all your questions, not a problem at all. So we can set up an online call, take you through the system. If you want to see a specific situation, maybe you're doing something a little bit more unique, or you just want a high level overview. It's really up to you. We are here to answer whatever questions that you have.
Well, I would like just to say here's the link is going to be under the video. You guys can find it, of course, on our website. And I would like to say thank you so much. We kind of went a little bit over. It was a pleasure to have you. We had Yuri last Monday, and hopefully you guys going to start keeping updates on your new technology, and we are waiting for your dispatch software as well and load board, so hopefully that's coming up. And what else? I mean, I think it's friendly user, and I mean user friendly. Sorry, sometimes when I talk too much English, I get tired by the end of the day. Plus, I was teaching private class today and dispatching 6 trucks, so I'm pretty tired by now. But I will be scheduling my private session, so I will give my updates on this because I am very picky. I hate to type, so I like something very easy, click, drop, forget about it. So I don't have to do much of the things. So I'm going to give my update on this. And of course, thank you a lot for helping us trying to succeed in trucking, because it's important and technology is changing every day. And it makes just the life of everybody easier to be able to save the time and work, like you said, from different countries, right? Because no matter where you're located, and the biggest thing, like the most incredible thing, which I think, well, all those integrations is great, but for me as independent dispatcher, able to have different carriers in the same software, I think this is priceless. People who did not start dispatching yet, too many carriers, they don't understand it yet. But the moment they're going to have 2-3 different companies with different information, you don't want to go crazy. You just want to make sure everything in the same system, even looking at the tracking them, even knowing if the transit is possible. So I think you guys are doing a great job. I mean, you've been providing us with ELD for a long time. My company uses, my husband's company uses, all my friends use GPS tab. I mean, hopefully I'll see you one day in person. You seem like a nice, knowledgeable guy, and you are very informative. And hopefully we can help everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And, system will constantly be improving. Changes are never ending, and we are ready for all of your feedback, your questions, and, hopefully a very long, relationship to come.
Yes, you got that sassy peeking on you, that sassy dispatch girl, because I want to make sure that my students are getting the best on the market. That's why I don't really, people ask me, why don't you go and advertise everybody? Because guys, I am choosing the best. I'm not going to choose and represent all the factoring company. No, I choose RTS because I am a carrier. I've been doing it for 8 years. I choose 3-4 factoring, so I know what's going on. Same with the fuel cards, same with accounting. So now it's TMS, ELDs. So when I represent something, it's, for me, it's not just advertisement. It's a lot of people reach out to me and say, Alex, why don't you start advertising? No, I'm not advertising something which I am not using. If I am using and I know that it's good, then I can give my feedback. That's why next week, when we're going to have those trainings, I am going to keep posting, and probably I am going to take another video and I'm going to tell them how easy it is. So, but anyway, thank you again. It was a pleasure. We're going to say goodbye to you, and we're just going to say a few more things about our upcoming classes. Thank you, Maja. I see you soon.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you for all my students, for everybody who is sharing, who is trying to change trucking for better. And again, guys, remember, we are going to be having the drafts for the new winners for our classes. And I want to tell you guys, share this information. They have to subscribe. They have to follow. They have to send us the letter, because in the last few weeks, we did not have any new participants. So that's why we stopped getting our wishbowl. But anyway, one more time, thank you, everybody. I see my students, my previous students, and hopefully dispatching is going to start making sense for you. Dispatching is something you can enjoy doing. You can make money for yourself. You can make money for the carrier. The only thing I would like you to be professional, be a pro, and have that sassy attitude. Ask the right question. Understand the trucking as a business, not just, well, let me make phone call. And we are adding more videos. And don't forget to subscribe, please, guys, because I'm putting a lot of my time into those videos. Share, subscribe, like, follow, share it to the groups even after the live, because it will be posted. And of course, sign up for our classes. We are pre-booked already from July. We still have safety class and IFTA class. Do not wait to the last minute. Our dispatch class was sold out. We have 27 students. I'm not going to have class in July due to heavy classes in safety, IFTA, and private trainings, because I do a lot of trainings for outside dispatch companies. And please make sure the drawing, somebody's asking the question, what's the email address? Well, I'm going to put the link. You will need to subscribe to our website. So here it is. Let me show you one more time. It is learndispatchtoday.com, right? Learn today, not tomorrow, not yesterday. Let me see. Here you go. I'm going to share the screen for people who are new. Share the screen right here. So this is our website, right? Everybody knows if you are looking for classes, registration is right here. Our dispatch training, the next one starts August 1st. Our safety classes, tracking safety, is starting on July, 4 days. July 10th, we already almost full. Our IFTA calculation classes are going to be on July 17th because we do intense training, hands-on. Also, our webinars, our partners, RTS. Everybody knows that I am agent for RTS. So if you're looking for factoring, and here again, our partners, remember, that if you're looking to sign up for that and receive your 30 days free, you can use this link. If you are looking for better price for ELD, you can use our link. And now you can use our link to get better deal on TMS. So we are trying to help you guys, and we are working for you also. As you all know, we have our channel, right? And we would like you to help us. We almost at 2,000 people. We have a lot of people watching our videos. We have a lot of information there. So please subscribe, and always with you, me, your sassy dispatch girl. For people who don't really know me, yes, I know what I'm talking about. I do have that sassy attitude, but not because I want you to fail. I want you to succeed. I want you to be a mega carrier, and I want you not to be a desperate dispatcher. I want you to be a pro. Love you all, and see you next Monday on my live at 6:30 p.m. Love you guys. See you soon.